Hello everyone, Mr. Pace, Exposed, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I know, some pretty good stuff on the site. I've gotten another couple hundred hits for people who want to know what's going on. Now, so I want to kind of bring you up to speed. In the last couple days, as it's been for the last couple weeks, myself, my lawyer, and Mr. Bendelow have been engaged in one hell of a discussion over what records we do and don't have. I'm going to go right past that to one thing more. The board of directors came and screamed and hemmed and hollered and posted all this stuff on a website that says we are so transparent you can see right through us. That claim is BS. That's it. It's plain and simple. I ask for things that are a financial record. Don't know and don't care how you come across them. When you form a business and you take that information and those financial records and as, in the course of your ordinary business, create those financial records, including agreements and copies of agreements and contracts and compensation and financial records, those are all public record. The district went through a seminar a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years now, that basically told them what they could and couldn't do. That seminar was attended by Brownstein, Hyatt, Faber, and Schreck. They were in the room. I tape recorded it. The man told them, and he's a lawyer, straight to their face, that the stuff I'm asking for was all public record. Now, I want to tell you what Mr. Bendelow has done. Mr. Bendelow wants $750. The reason he wants it is because I told him I would pay for the resending of the documents. Not for you to go get them, you should already have them. He wants me to pay a fee to recompile the documents. But if you already sent them, and as he claimed in the emails, he says, well, you must have lost them, or maybe you just can't find them. No, I'm not that disorganized. What I now know, based on those statements from an attorney, because attorneys are pretty clear at communicating, that he has information that he believes makes him think that we have the documents. We don't. That's why he made a comment in this about saying the word lie. Well, what is a lie? A lie is just a rough word of saying that someone's not being honest. So is that the word you want me to use, Mr. Bendelow? We can use that all day long. Your clients are dishonest. How's that? Straight up. Mrs. Peterson's not being honest. She's being dishonest. I don't know what you have, but let me make this clear. When I did the request for these documents, in them I say, prior to filling the request, should it incur a cost for the requester, please provide by statute a list of the breakdown before filling the request. I put that disclaimer on all of them. So anybody knows that when I make that request, the first thing they should do is send me a thing telling me, one, when it's going to be done, and if they need an extension, and how much it's going to cost. Then either you fill it, you don't fill it, or set up a time that I can go and review them. And we don't have any of those either. None of those, in these requests that I've made, the recent ones, none of that was accomplished. Now here's what I have. Josh Killett talking to a disinterested third party, leaving a building with boxes of documents he said were for me and have been done over the last 6 years. That means now, Mr. Bendelow, I know you have the documents. Why didn't the district set up a time for me to go review them? Well, because you didn't. And you didn't tell me how much. And that's it. A forensic company that's going to be hired can come in anytime and tell you exactly what I already know. You didn't get them. Either way, we don't have them. And if you've compiled them, as I basically understand Mr. Killett told another person, now I know you have them. So where are they? And it can't be that hard to say, Mr. Pace, come down, now look at the documents. As I told you before, Mrs. Peterson, and it's been Mrs. Peterson, it's not the first time this has happened, has established herself as the queen of Woodman Hills by basically saying, you can't come into my building, I own it. You work for me, you pay my salary, I do what I want. No, it doesn't work like that. It's not the first time I've heard about the two-faced analogy. It's not the first time you tried to have me arrested. It's not the first time that you've had employees try to have me arrested. It's not the first time you tried to have employees try to have me restrained and removed from the building. It's just not the first time. Right, Mrs. Peterson? Or are all those EPSO records I have false too? Mr. Peterson, if you're upset with me, you might want to go upset and get upset with the district. District board, you have a responsibility to uphold the policies of this district, and when you know your employees aren't doing their job and they're doing stuff, well, dishonestly, is that the word you'd like me to use? Then they shouldn't be here. And I want a judge and jury to hear that, because we've got all the standards and bylaws and policies, a ton of which he's violated over and over. No matter what, how many records you gave me, which are thousands, yeah, I paid for them, I got them for free, or they were done all legally. So what's your point, Mr. Bendelow? You're going to go into a courtroom and tell a judge that I, what, took you hostage and made you give me the documents? You're not getting the $750. I'm not going to pay you to recompile documents that I should either have or you have a record of, or at least showing you sent them, set up the appointment to give me, or charge me for. That's why I sent you this. So I'll be waiting for that response. Let's go on to this whole thing over the matter of the bankruptcy. The law says anybody believes that anybody has broken the law or violated bankruptcy code or done something intentionally with the attempt to defraud is subject to an investigation. That same person is going to be Mrs. Peterson. She was the one whose names appear in these issues, along with the ones where they got the information from and submitted them to court. Again, the reason why the district wants to sue me for harassment, slander, and everything else, and then attempt to charge me with criminal matters. It's retaliation. I'm going to read the final document here that I got. Dear Mr. Kyle, you will find enclosed our check in the amount of $1,000. Also enclosed is a copy of the letter which we received from Mr. Bendelow's office for your review, which was Mr. Bendelow withdrawing their claim. If you have any questions, let us know, but at this time we are refunding Mr. Pace's money and dropping the claim. Double dipping. Even the county said it was a duplicative or double file of the same stuff. Mrs. Pitsy, all you do is try to run interference for the people that are breaking the law. I have a right to file my complaints. The matter over the check. There's a check out there for a payment that you didn't put on this transaction summary that was made before the end of the year. I have the check, a copy of it, when it was paid, and when it was cashed. See, Mr. Bendelow, your clients are being untruthful, misdirecting, false narratives. You don't want me to use that L word. I didn't do it. I didn't make the attempt to give out false and misleading information to the bankruptcy court. I just went down and got the payment history from my bank about the checks that I gave to the district when they were cashed, because I know when I submitted them. Folks, the other issue here is about prior district directors, prior board members, most recently moving on district directors and employees. Recalls are not pleasant, but they fix a problem because this board is putting out a false narrative. I know for a fact there's a document that was currently not supposed to be in my possession that appears to have emanated from Woodman Hills. The person who basically made that document is the person I'm looking for. That's what the investigation is currently underway. It is grounds for a recall. 3 board members were on the board when this apparent letter surfaced. Okay? So if you want to attack me, Mr. Bendelow, I waive service. I accept whatever lawsuit you want to file against me and my family again, and do whatever you have to do. But don't come in here and tell me how angel-like and Boy Scout-like your clients are. All the EPSO records that I was able to gather, all the prior employees that have said they are on my side, including district directors who signed away their right to speak, can be brought into court, and all of that can be hashed out, and I welcome it. And I'm sure the judge is going to want to specifically see what it is you claim that you say I have when we don't, And then I'd like you to produce the document showing we received the original documents and just what form that took place. That's what the request was for. I don't have to come here and get angry. You're losing. Nobody wants to do a recall, but when I showed the recall committee what you guys had done, that was all set. So to Pitsy, put her and kill it. Well, you set your own futures in stone when you did what you did to Bliss and Gonzalez, Mr. McGrady, and Gene Cozzolino, regardless of the circumstance. Oh, Mr. McNally as well, and then the aquatics person. Okay? That's all. It's that simple. You can go in court and deny what you did, and then I have a right to subpoena the employees of this district to refute your statements. And a judge will know, as I know, it is admissible. All this because you didn't want to turn over public documents. That's what this was about. It's on my website. I posted it, the videos of the meetings, and all of that's admissible. And Mr. Bendelow, yeah, you're right. You're an experienced, expensive lawyer, right? But if your clients gave me the records that they said they gave me, then it wouldn't cost $750 to recompile the documents that I asked for in electronic fashion. It just won't take that long. Thank you, folks. I wanted you to hear it from me first. So the third threat to threaten me is exactly what it's for. It's a threat to intimidate me. So I stop asking questions, I stop asking for Cora, and I stop holding these people accountable. You sealed your fate, guys, when you attacked me in those board meetings over legal fees that you guys incurred as a result of Mr. Pitsy's wife attacking me early on. Boards from that point on doing the same thing. And then blaming me for defenses of legal actions I didn't bring against this district. And Mrs. Pitsy, in a closing note, Matt Arnold beat everybody up in that court case. Proved that you, Bliss, another board member, well, not directly related to it, I take that back, he wasn't on the board. You and Bliss were on the board with Benjamin Green when you held those meetings at the library, which I still have, along with Josh Killett, claiming it was a Liberty thing. Okay, so don't tell people you had nothing to do with this. You've been in bed with these developers from day one. It's the reason they removed you as a president of board back then, because employees didn't have any place to go to and the board got fed up with it. And then blaming Mr. Moulton for moving. I don't blame him for moving. Okay? Now, by all means, I waive service. Why don't you make it a big spectacle, do it at the next board meeting when I got my camera, and go ahead and sue me. But transparency, freedom, is not going to stop here. And not because a bunch of people on the board think they're going to hide the financial transactions of this district or claim that we already have them when we don't. So it's a six-figure salary, right, Mrs. Peterson? And a very expensive what? The house worth what now, $400,000? Yeah, no. The reason why you're threatening me is because I'm not threatening you. I did say I was going to take you to court over Cora because I have to. Now you're threatening me to sue me for slander, libel, and a few other things. Folks, this is what it's called when the people that are telling people, you don't mean to use that word lie, right? So dishonest comments and statements, and I have a right to file my complaints legally, and then you want to be vindictive about it. Now you know. That's why I keep fighting. We have a right to those financial transactions, and we just don't have them. Because you know what they'd be? Right now, Mr. Bendelow, I don't misplace those records. Basically, what your statement was, and verified for me, is that Woodman Hills basically told you they sent them. That's also what your comment verified for me. You misplaced them, or you lost them. No. Or I don't know where they are. That means now I know for a fact, Mr. Bendelow, in your statement as an attorney, that you're of the assumption, okay, or whatever issue you have, that they actually sent them to me. Now you're going to have to prove how and when and where they did with all the records I just asked you for. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you coming by.